Hey fellas, this video is all about Uber, but I'm just putting this up here just as something to go through. This is the old like 1991 GI Joe card set. So while I'm going through this, I'm just gonna slowly pan through this. But basically, I've been doing Uber since October. And this is just going to be on what I make, different things like that. Is it a good side job? I do it as a side job, not a full-time gig. So with that, let's go ahead and just start tackling right off the bat. I use a Toyota Tundra, 2025. I got my truck in October. It gets about 18 miles per gallon. So that's what I'm using to Uber in. It's my personal main transportation. So with that, we'll start that just right off the bat. Some people may want to know what size vehicle, because I know a lot of people believe you need to use really small vehicles to make profit, and you probably make more money off a smaller car than you do a truck. So I average per hour somewhere between 15 and 20 bucks, usually 18 to 20. Even days after, tips will come in. I may get a tip 2 or 3 days later from like a ride I did today. So when I usually go out, it's somewhere between 4 and 5 hours. So today I was out about 5 hours and I pulled 75 bucks. Let me rephrase that. I was out just over 4 hours and I pulled 75 bucks. 5 of it was from one tip. So I only pulled like $70 today in about 4 hours. I pulled 75. Well, I pulled 70 in 4 hours, just over 4 hours, and then I pulled a $5 tip. So I didn't quite meet my $20 an hour today, which is fine. It is what it is, right? Now let's go to the next part of that. Is okay. Well, we know I'm driving a truck, and we know I'm getting 18 miles per gallon. So how much of that 75 am I putting back in gas? So I've estimated that I'm going through about $5 of gas an hour. So I'm probably going to spend about $20 back in gas. Maybe a couple dollars more, maybe a little bit less, but most likely about 20. So that turns my 75 I made in those 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, because I started at 1 and I finished just after 5, probably down to closer to 50 bucks. So I probably pulled close to like $10 an hour, maybe $12 an hour today, right? Not great, but it's not a full-time gig for me. It's a side job. Now, here in Houston, Texas, right? Here in Texas, minimum wage is $7.25, so still above minimum wage. But the problem is, I still have like the cost and maintenance of my vehicle. So in reality, I probably made minimum wage today on those rides, and but other days, like I pulled 20 like straight off the board, and today I was a little under because I was right around 80. So I mean, I was at 75 for just over 4 hours. So I mean, not great, guys. It wasn't as good as I usually have it, but hey, I'm getting you guys the straight up reality of it. So another thing, guys, if you're gonna Uber and take people around, your vehicle can't be more than like 10 years old. So just to put that out there. Okay, now we got the money thing talked about. Let's go ahead and talk about this. As a full-time gig, I just couldn't see it being financially beneficial to me. I've worked 12 hours a day, and I still don't think I'd make up what I'm making on my regular income per week. So, for a full-time job, for me, it's 100% out. There's no way, there's no benefit at all for me doing that. I put on probably about, when I go out for 5 hours, I put out about 150 miles. I put about 150 miles on my vehicle each time. I just couldn't. That's 5 hours. Imagine putting on like 350 miles a day, running 12 hours a day on your vehicle. That's a lot per week, right? So, for a side job, I think it's incredible. I think it's a really good side job because, like I said, Today is a little slow for me, but that doesn't mean the next time I go out, tomorrow could be way better. I could make a lot more money in that amount of time, or I could, usually in 5 hours I pull $100, a little over 100, and then days after I'm still getting some change pulled in from tips, which tips are greatly appreciated, especially right now with the way life is. Everybody's struggling. Everything is so expensive. So when somebody gives you a $5 tip, that's pretty awesome, man. Be very grateful for that. Okay, so when I Uber, it's during the day, midday, afternoon, maybe in the morning. I don't do night. I don't drink alcohol. I've never been drunk, so I really don't want to deal with drunks or alcoholics, right? In the same, right? So for me, I prefer to go out during the day, pick up people that want to go places. They're either going to the store, going to work, just going back and forth, man, and maybe going out to eat, going places to have fun with the family. Those are the kind of stuff that I typically deal with during the day hours. I mean, I don't really deal with drinks. People that go out and drink during the day, to go to a restaurant to drink, they're going to have a little bit to drink, but not enough to where they're just plaster throwing up all over your vehicle, So, but I think one of the other great benefits about Uber is you can get an Uber debit card. So each time you drop somebody off, that money's instantly deposited onto that card. So every day, let me zoom that out a little bit. Every day, you have money. Like, it's so great. Like, here it is. You get paid Friday. It's Tuesday. You don't have grocery money. You don't have gas money. Like, you have enough money to put gas in your truck, but you're not going to have enough money for the rest of the week. You can go out and Uber for 2-3 hours and make maybe, let's say $50 out of, let's say, 3 hours. Be realistic. You make $50. That's enough to fill your tank up. That's enough to buy a few things from the grocery store if needed. But I'm just saying, right, there's options. You don't have to go pawn stuff. Just get out there and go out and Uber for a few hours and do what you got to do, right, to get to the end of the week. And here's some things. Now, that is great benefit about it, is that, and usually when I travel all over the city, I just let Uber take me where it takes me. I make better money than what I did today, but I was more picky. I didn't want to get too far away from my house. And the problem with that is, right, I didn't go into Houston, but I'm satisfied with the money I made because I didn't have to go near as far out of the area to make it. Typically, I would end up all the way an hour and a half from home when I was done Ubering, but I would make my goal. I would kind of surpass it. The only problem is I have an hour and a half drive home and I don't take any riders with me. So technically I just beat myself up because I just made a long drive, and I mean, it's kind of pointless at that point, what I made per hour, because now here I am having to drive 60 miles back home, right on my own dime, basically. Okay, so with that said, if you're going to go out and Uber part-time, try to stay kind of close to your main area, whatever your main hub is, wherever you want to Uber. I'd recommend just staying in a certain area with cities and things like that. Uber won't let you set up a radius and say, hey, I only want to go to these cities, or I only want to go to this area. No, they're going to give you everything. They're going to give you everything, and you're just going to have to turn stuff down. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and jump into a few things. Like, if you start Ubering, that you should definitely take in effect when you have people in your car. One of the things I'm going to say here is you're not here to comment on somebody's appearance. That's huge, guys. You're just here. This is a business. This isn't here to flirt with anybody or all that. If you're a guy, you don't want to make... These girls are already uncomfortable as it is riding around with men, because they know guys will sit there and comment on them and all this different things. If you want to talk to these people, and the best way to relax is just talk about TV shows. Do that, guys. Just talk about movies and TV shows. Do not get personal. Don't talk about anybody's appearance. Don't especially if you're a guy talking to a girl, keep it very light. Don't get too personal. You don't want them to creep them out or make them feel awkward, man. You're gonna ruin it for everybody else, right? For all the other guys out there. Another one is, no matter, guys, I get along with a lot of people. We talk video games. We do those really cool people you run into, and you're like, man, be kind of cool to be friends with this guy at some point. No, don't offer. Just basic. Don't get personal, guys. I mean, what I mean by that, don't exchange phone numbers. Don't exchange Facebooks. I don't know, PlayStation. I don't know, man. I still just wouldn't do it. Keep it professional, guys. But I'm gonna tell you, I run into a lot of people that play the same games I do. We can sit there and get along. We have the same issues about games. We can just talk, man. It's just people I can sit down and talk to for a long time about even TV shows and different things. And it is enjoyable about talking to these people that are also into the same things you are. And when you're an adult, it's not easy to make friends, guys, especially when you got kids and stuff. But it's really kind of, it can be really easy just to say, man, I really like this person. I'd like to be their friend, and it doesn't work out quite the way you hope it would. So, in my opinion, just keep it professional, guys. Remember why you're out there. You're out there to make some money, And in some ways, it is nice. I remote from home. I mean, I'm at home. If I'm not out of town, like this next week, I'm gonna be out of town all week working, right? But this week, I'm home. I've been home for a while. I left for a one-day trip for work, and I came back the same day. Other than that, I'm just at home remoting in. I barely talking about it. It's just me and the family. So it's nice to get out and conversate with other people. I think that's always the funnest part of Ubering, is just getting to visit and talk with other people. And, because they tell you about TV shows you don't even know about. I'm telling you, man, you talk entertainment stuff that you're into with them, TV shows, video games, movies, you're going to learn about shows you haven't seen. You're going to learn about video games maybe you didn't know existed. All right, I'm going to say you keep it light like that. Keep it that route. Do not comment on anybody's appearance. Do not flirt with anybody. Don't say don't be creepy, all right? Just don't be creepy. All right, and finally with this, now obviously you got to have a clean background with Uber and things. If you're out there, guys, and you're struggling for money, and you have a newer vehicle and you have an opportunity, I mean, take it, man. Don't take, just take it. Don't e-beg. Don't do things like that. Go out there and try to do what's right, and try to earn your money, and do your best, because I'll tell you what, when you go out there and start Ubering, you'll realize, man, if I go out on the weekend, I can easily pull, going out 4 days a week, you can easily pull close to $400 a week, if not more, depending on how many hours you are. Going out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can pull over $300, man. And then sometimes they have these great bonuses going on if you're willing to really hustle to get even more free money. But the fact is, a lot of people go, I don't want to put miles on my vehicle. The problem is, though, you need money right now. You don't, you need the money now. I mean, how else are you going to get the money? You're going to go beg somebody for the money? No, just get out there and make some money. Get it done. I mean, that's the reality of it. So, I still got a little ways to go in this book. I've been taking a little too long in between pace turns, but like I said, guys, I'm in a 2025 Toyota Tundra. It is a C6. A V6. So, and my wife drives her Toyota Tundra V8 to Uber. So, I mean, I think we got that covered, guys. I think you can make some money now. From my understanding, Dodge Rams, they have horrible gas mileage. So you may not be able to be successful. I want to hear they're only like 12 miles per gallon. So you may not be able to have any luck if you're in a Dodge Ram. But don't just look at Uber, right? There's Uber Eats. Okay, let's talk about Uber Eats real quick. I did one Uber Eats ride. It took me over 30 minutes, and I made like $5 on it, and that was after a $3 tip. I didn't know when I took it. It was like $5 before I took it. I thought I was going to get like a, still a tip on top of it. No, man, I got shafted. So after that one, I decided never to touch another Uber Eats. I learned my lesson and said I won't do it again. And then Uber has like package deliveries. So you'll pick up something, let's say like AutoZone, and you drop it off at another business or like at a mechanic shop. It sounds great, except that same thing. It doesn't pay. I mean, and it does not pay. I think one of them popped up when I had it turned on, and it was like a 30-minute drive for $2 and some change. And I go, and businesses don't tip. Guys, you'll pick up, every time I pick up somebody from Uber for an organization, like the car dealership ordered the Uber or the hospital or something, there's no tip. There's no tip. So there's no going to be tips on when you're delivering packages. There's just no way. No way at all they're going to tip in that moment either. So just know that when I think it's a sham to do the packages. Maybe if you have a little 2-seater car and you're doing the Uber Eats and the packages, maybe it works out. But with my mileage being 18 miles per gallon, I can't risk taking the time doing these little jobs. I'm just not making any money at it. I'm actually paying Uber to do those rides. So, or do those, and I'm not into giving Uber money. They're not into giving us money, right? There's so many taxes and they take their bit. I mean, where I want to say here is maybe around 60% or so that we actually get from the ride. So if somebody pays $10, we get like $6. I mean, and that's going to take you 15 or 20 minutes of your time for that $6. So with that, fellas, I think that's it. I think Uber's a great side job. There's plenty of people on YouTube who are doing it full time that probably have some great tips on what to do and what not to do. I'm just telling you, for somebody that's been doing it 5 months, and I'm using a big truck. Also, one other thing on what I noticed on there, I want to say I have really good days and I have not so good days, but I can go out anywhere week where 5 hours, 5-hour days, 5 days a week, and pull somewhere between $400 and $500 extra. That's a lot of money. You add that up to 4 weeks. That's, $1,600 to $2,000 extra a month, right? That's huge. So, yeah, I think that's it, fellas. I would probably put, $100 in gas a week, maybe $150 out of $500, but it still give me $350 a week. That's better than not having nothing. So I hope this helps, guys. I know it's a long video, but let me just go ahead and scrolling through these. We're almost to the end. It's like 200 cards. If I miss something, or if y'all have questions about my experience and things like that, put it down in the comments. I will respond. What I can tell you, when we did the taxes on it, we did get a tax credit and things like that for doing Uber. So and Uber, they keep track of all your mileage and all that stuff for you. You don't have to worry about that. And it did it did send it to TurboTax for us, I believe. So once we're filing our taxes. So hey, all I can say is don't go to the pawn shop if you don't have to. I know DoorDash is an option. People that I picked up that Uber from Ubering that do DoorDash, they're going to get their car because they had maintenance done to it or something else. They're telling me that they typically can pull they hustle and they can typically pull about $30 an hour. So I'm not into the food thing, but it's an option for you guys if your vehicle's a little bit older. Pick up food and deliver it, right? I mean, I don't know if that's actually the case. I mean, that's just what they're saying. The only way to know is to get out there and try it. And what I'm going to say is, Texas minimum wage is $7.25. California is $15, right? I wouldn't expect you guys in California to go out and pull $20 an hour. The gas is more expensive there. The cost of living in most areas, maybe in the whole state, is much higher than here. With a minimum wage of $15, it's going to be, right? So I'd imagine that you're going to be wanting to pull somewhere between $35 and $40 an hour out there in California. So maybe New York is going to be a little bit different. So with all that, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll speak to you guys soon.